Alright, and welcome to part 3 of Trials 4, the worst part ever. And this part took us 2.5 hours, and you'll see why very shortly.
Yeah. Because we suck.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good explanation there. So, the first part is your typical jumping puzzle that I don't know if we were just getting worse over the night or if this puzzle actually is just terrible. Probably both, but this puzzle took us 25 minutes.
Well, part of the problem is we were complaining before how every jumping puzzle was on top of a death trap, but honestly that made the puzzles more tolerable because we could respawn on each other. Here, if you fall off, you have to start the whole series of jumps over again.
Yep, and I think this is the first puzzle of the night where we actually actively start using no-clip to get back to where we were when we fell off, because we were just failing at getting back to that point.
Yeah, we were trying not to cheat, but we kind of gave up on this map.
Yeah.
Because it's impossible.
So we're just going to skip ahead all about 25 minutes to the end of that puzzle, and now we lose all of our guns, which is a terrible thing because it means that there's not going to be any more shooting, and we're just going to be doing more jumping puzzles. And we're back to where we started.
Oh, this place again. So it is pretty cool how every time you start back here, but it's like laid out differently.
Yeah.
I kind of like that.
Ignoring me failing
really
on a ladder.
Make any sense?
No, it doesn't make any sense. Like some repairmen have been popping out and changing this place while we've been puzzles.
Yeah.
I think we're in the Matrix.
And we're just going to slow down here and watch Dan die.
Thanks for that, Casey.
Yeah,
oh,
so
it's not the only one.
This bomb is remote controlled by a lever up at the top, and you're supposed to blow your way through the door. And there's a little bit of delay, so we ended up blowing each other up.
That's not the first time we kill each other. Trust me. It happens a couple more times.
I think you mean not the last time we kill each other.
Well, it wasn't the first time either.
It's true.
We're going to skip ahead to this really terrible underwater part where we have to get, what was it, a gun, some boxes, and a keycard to open a door.
No, so you have to... There's a cage up on the ceiling, and you have to get the gun to shoot out the lock, which drops the key card out of the cage, and then you have to get the key card out too.
Unfortunately, we don't have enough breath to make it all the way down to the bottom and come back up, so you have to go in two at a time.
Yeah, one person has to hand off go get an object and then hand it off to a second person because they'll die going back up when they run over.
It is extremely hard to catch an object that is falling.
Yeah.
And here's us failing at how to put up a box. And there's us failing some more. And now we're done with that terrible swimming puzzle. So now it's on to up an elevator to the Minefield.
With a bunch of soda cans laying around for some reason.
Yeah, I think at first we thought that those were supposed to set off the mines so that they didn't blow us up, but turns out that they just rearm instantly.
Yeah. Yeah, we were thinking that you could get past by blowing up the mines and then running by quickly, but that doesn't work at all.
Yeah, it turns out you just have to go really slowly along the slippery minefield.
Yeah, for some reason you slide around on this, which doesn't make any sense.
Yep.
Doesn't
It's all muddy.
Everyone knows you slide on mud.
So we're trying to get through these cars, it's not working. And then we get to something sort of reminiscent from a bit of Half-Life 2, if I'm right.
Oh, yeah, except reverse.
What, getting blown up repeatedly?
Well, I meant the ramp with the barnacles.
Yeah, so this thing, there's a ramp, and you have to dodge the mines, but then there's a gap at the bottom of the ramp that you have to jump over. And so if you go too fast, then you'll hit the mines and blow up. And if you go too slow, then you won't be able to make it over the jump. So, kind of annoying.
And I think we're about to slow down here in a second. And yeah, there we're slowing down to watch Will fail because he's the last one alive and he dies. So we're just going to skip ahead to us getting back to that point. And you see me there trying an idea of trying to jump over the mines, which Ethan then successfully does. That punk.
Yeah, it's because I'm a pro. Yeah, so apparently the way to do this is just to, jump over the mines.
And now
Oh,
the
God.
trains.
Instead of trying to dodge him.
So here's another keycard slot, which means we have to go get it, which means we have to take these really bad train cars, which you move by alternating pressing these levers.
Yeah, it's like a really bad manual car thing.
Seems like it's not that hard
and
at first,
we completely fail at
except
this.
you also
Know
have to
that.
jump. And we sort of do alright, except now we have to push buttons at the same time. And Ethan manages to clip through the gate that time, but then dies because he can't jump back to the other cart. So here's us managing to get through the gate for the first time by me luckily respawning on Ethan and the cart's just advancing extremely slowly. But now we have to go fast because there's a gate that we have to get the cart under, and I fail horribly at it, but Ethan somehow manages to keep going.
Yeah, so the key to this puzzle is you have to go slow at first so you can open that gate, but then you have to speed up to get through the rest of it. Kind of annoying.
Yep. And I think this is the part where we finally managed to complete it about 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
And yep, there we go. Except we went too far and we thought that we were going to die if we touched the track, because that's what happens the entire track.
Except for the very end. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, so we started destroying the boxes.
And this is my favorite part in all of Part C, because as you'll see in a moment...
You didn't have to do anything?
Well, I didn't have to do anything, but I also get to get on some boxes and go, push me closer, I want to hit them with my crowbar.
Except in the video. Like in the first recording, I actually said that, but
yeah,
oh well.
But I'm going to
so you're
shamelessly steal that. So Ethan somehow doesn't go through the teleporter, but the keycard does, which, whatever. And now this part. First off, there's a jump that we fail horribly at and all die, so we have to restart it, but that was a checkpoint right there, so it's not too big a deal. Little tiny tightrope walking puzzle thing, and then some tiny box platforms that we kind of fail at for about 5 minutes.
What's holding these things up anyway? Like,
Magic.
there's these tiny little square things.
So,
doesn't make any sense.
And there's me managing to get through, and I go the entire way 5 minutes later. And now we get to the tricky part, because, oh hey, the lights are gone.
Yep. I'm pretty sure we made some throw me the idol jokes here.
Yeah, it's too bad we lost the original audio.
We're going to skip ahead about 5 minutes, because this was us just planning and failing to set up our plan for getting the idol across.
So, the first time we played this game a long time ago, the way we did this, which was kind of retarded, was we tried to jump into the air and then throw the idol while we were in at the apex of the jump, so that it would land on the second platform, and that didn't really work at all. So this time we just handed it off to each other.
I was just starting to lose my mind at this terrible game. So, in a minute, we'll see that why I am terrible at catching objects as my flashlight dies.
Juice casing.
That's kind of it. And of course, like, you can't see anything with the light from other people's flashlights because they'll point at the ceiling.
Yep. And in a few minutes, you'll see another good reason why I should never be given the idol.
Because you'll, like, no, not give us the whip.
And somehow we actually did that the first try, but it took us, I think, 50 tries the first time we played this level.
Yeah.
So now we have to go all the way through. We don't have to make this stupid jump again because somehow some concrete has been poured and set. We do have to slide uphill, though, because that makes sense.
Yeah, for some reason, yeah.
I remember, like,
burst.
I think Casey thought that these mines had become deactivated when we came back here, so then, like, I decided to test it and got blown up.
Yep. And you see these little switches that we'll have to remember later. The little pause is me just writing them down because I don't trust any of our memories at this point.
My memory is amazing.
Not at 2 in the morning.
Especially difficult.
And
then 2 out.
and then here's a really bad, not really puzzle, just fall down and then have someone
It's a
throw
falling puzzle.
health packs at you until you get enough health to fall down some more. So we're going to pretty much skip that entire thing.
Yeah, I just
Hard so
basically
much as it
stood
is
up at
very
the
cheap.
top. Yeah. I just stood up at the top, tossing down a pile of health packs. See on the ground.
Wow, we skipped a lot of that.
It was bad and really boring. And now we get to carry the idol
Yeah.
across underwater back up to where we were with the keycard. And here we see me make probably the largest fail of the entire series, where I go the complete wrong way and end up right back where we got the idol from. So we're just going to cut out all of that so that the internet doesn't have to look at my failure.
What? You don't cut out any of my failures.
That's because your failures are funny.
Oh no. I think that's pretty funny, Casey.
Yeah, it is pretty funny.
Well, that's why I left in some of it. And now we get to put the
Yeah.
idol next to its friend, and it gets to just float away.
Just
Now,
place it perfectly in its spot there.
and now we find out that having 4 people try to do this puzzle at once is a terrible idea. And something's coming. And, oh god, it's another antlion.
Yeah, so let's take down the place.
The way that's actually supposed to work is
Oh,
you're
yeah.
supposed to
No, I
lead the
just kill him
antlion
with my
over
crowbar.
the you're supposed to lead the antlion over the boards. He's supposed to fall down and die, but he kind of glitched, and Will just went up and hit him with his crowbar, and he died. And now this is the worst jumping puzzle in the game. Not the worst puzzle, but the worst jumping puzzle.
This is the worst jumping puzzle in the history of.
Don't say that. And there's Will running away from it. And here's Will failing again by just running and killing himself.
Yeah, I can't take it anymore.
So we're just going to skip all that, and this is where we just actively no clip away because those platforms are impossible.
They're just much too.
Yeah, they're like, some of them at the end are about 1 hammer unit square, which is, I believe, it's like 1/16 of a foot.
Something terrible like that, and with the slippiness that the Source engine in its original incarnation gives, it's impossible to make. And that puzzle that we mostly skipped was another maze that was completely in darkness, and your teammates had to guide you through it. So obviously we skipped
Except
it because
I
it
can
was in
just go
darkness.
through it by myself because I'm a pro.
Well, because
Mhm.
you've done it 20,000 times and have memorized it.
No, I did it by myself the first time. Good mazes. Also, it's not really that complicated.
And in
As for this puzzle, it's rather self-explanatory. You just shoot the explosive barrels out of the sky before they kill you.
Yep. We are getting bombarded by artillery, except the artillery is actually explosive barrels.
Yeah. And I was just sitting inside the gate watching you guys because.
Except you were too close to the
Don't
gate
all
and
die.
you got hit by the barrels.
Yep.
Nice.
So this goes on for far too long. In case you haven't noticed, I've sped this entire video up to 250% speed because it's just ridiculously long otherwise.
Yeah.
And
And it's kind of repetitive, like, especially
Yeah.
since we don't have any commentary left to
yeah,
watch us fail continuously.
and we finished that, and now we get to watch the most terrible part of Trials forever.